Welcome all you Capricorns to your full moon in Gemini reading. That full moon is going to be happening on December 18th, and it's going to be bringing in some beautiful energy. One of the energies is all about embracing the flow of life. So really coming into the now, coming into the moment. And there's kind of like this little shh coming from the universe, coming from the creator, just to say, listen a little more, be still, talk less, and listen more, observe more, because in that observation, we're going to be getting some good information that is going to help transform just this energy that we're having from one of chaos and focusing on lack in the world. And we will have this gratitude, this peace, and this attachment to the unconditional love of the other side. That Gemini kind of switching from one mindset to another is very evident with this energy coming in. And I found this beautiful affirmation around this full moon in Gemini, and it says, I share kind, loving words with the people in my life. So if we're sharing unkind and unloving words with people in our lives, this will help transform that to that energy. So we, of course, will dig in deep here and just see what the creator wants you to know about the overall 3-week period around this full moon in Gemini. That'll include the week before this full moon and the 2 weeks after. And I'm going to pull a card here just from these Star Codes Astro Oracle. And this is just going to be overall for the 3-week period. What the creator wants all our Capricorns to know about this energy for this Gemini full moon, specifically for you. Okay, they said they want that one right there. So we will take that. And you have the 8th house mystery. And that's card number 46. So beautiful colors in this card here, and we'll just put that right here. 46 adds up to 10, which is endings and new beginnings. So the ending of some curiosity that you have, some things that are hidden coming into play here. This says, if your chart were a village map, the 8th house would be on the corner of the red light district next to the mortuary and a savings and loan bank. It's a private house where we deal with things we don't talk about in public. So sex and death and debts and loans and the psychic phenomenon. Here we deal with other people's resources and how they are exchanged. So money, bodies, thoughts, and work, and how we inherit goods and attitudes. So this house can feel uncomfortable, but it's a place where we can transform. So like we're talking with that Gemini transformation energy that's coming. And the action it talks about here for this card is assess the power dynamics between you and other people around important resources like sex, money, and inheritances. Notice if a relative or a boss withholds money until you behave, or if you or a lover withholds sex until some other need is met. Never. Just get clear in your own mind if anyone is pulling strings, and try to heal dysfunctional dynamics with clear and healthy boundaries. It says seduce honestly. Not all strange sexual dynamics or unusual financial arrangements are a problem. If you understand your peculiarities and don't feel coerced or controlled by them, they are just part of who you are. Financial investors and advisors, consultants, ministers, lovers, intuitives, brain trusts, auctioneers, and investigators all work with the 8th house affairs, and if they work with integrity, they do so productively. So develop your 2nd house resources, your own money, your sense of worth, and your body confidence to strengthen your freedom and bargaining power and operate in this realm with grace. Engage the resources handed to you, but make your own judgment calls. The 8th house calls for one last freedom, to acknowledge that death exists and be fully alive in response. So I really love that, kind of approach to that, because it's like, realize that death comes for us all, whether it's a death, like of a relationship or a situation, but definitely, death comes to this physical being we have. And so make the most of every moment that you have, right? The challenge that comes with this card and this energy, it says it can be tempting to manipulate by withholding love, power, or money, and hard to step away when someone else is jerking those chains. But the gift that comes with all of that in this energy is that you get to face your worst fears and step through them, feeling that liberation. The trap of manipulation falls away when you don't bite the hook. Awesome. I love that. We're also going to dig in more with these tarot of dreams, and we're going to look at each of the 3 weeks around this full moon. So the week before, the week after, and 2 weeks after the full moon, and just see what else the Creator wants you to know. All right, so for the first week before the full moon, what do you want our Capricorns to know, please? Okay, I feel like that one. Any others? Okay, I feel like this one and this one. And then the week after the full moon. Okay, I feel like it's these 3 right here. And then the second week after the full moon. Okay, I feel like you've got to these 2 and these 2. And then actually these 2 are just for the entire 3-week period. So let's dive in here. The week before the full moon, you've got the Queen of Swords here. So your swords are your thoughts, your beliefs, your mindsets, your attitudes, your expectations. And it's great because she yields this Ace of Swords, which, when this is talking about mystery and the unseen and those types of things, it helps you see the capital T truths of life. You have a lot of small t truths of our fear, ego, and the opinions from the outside world. But this Ace of Swords allows you to see higher truths and then also cut away those small t truths that no longer serve you. All of the queens also, in addition to, because, the swords is air, so in addition to bringing in the air, it also brings in the water element of the divine feminine. So she brings in, and you can see kind of the Libra here with this balancing energy, that you balance your heart and your mind during this first week before the full moon. And yeah, because you got the 2 of Swords here. So again, this is really about balancing your mind. You can see you have 2 swords, so 2 ways of deciding things. You have, like I talked about, the small t truths, but you can kind of see here that has this blind on her head, and you have the moon, which represents seeing things from a different perspective, really digging into the unknown, like this mystery, the unseen world. So trust in your gut, trust in your intuition, which you do through this balancing, bringing in the emotional piece, because that's where we connect to the other side, is through our emotions. That's where that love comes in. That's where our connection to the other world is in there. Yeah, and you got the 5 of Wands. So this makes sense too. Wands are your drive, your ambition, your spark, your aha, your spiritual energy. But the 5 is really about changing your viewpoint in something. Like when you first see this card, you're like, oh my gosh, they're in conflict, they're at war. And I kind of see this kung fu movie starting where there's these 5 individuals, and they all have their staves, and they're all having this battle. And it eventually ends up where one person is standing, and the other 4 are laying on the ground, exhausted and beat. And you're like, oh, what's going to happen now? And then they all start laughing, and you're like, what's going on? And then they help each other up, and they're all buddy-buddy, and they walk like arm in arm, and, picking on each other as they head down, this alleyway to their meal hall. And then you realize, oh, these guys are friends. They're actually all monks in this, Buddhist monastery, and they were using their staves in this as a training exercise to help each other improve their skills. So they're doing it because they cared about one another. So it's this energy around conflict and this energy around this kind of situations that this 8th house card was talking about. You see the change of things because of the truth. You start to see things from this higher perspective. Your perception and the energy around what you feel is going on also switches. So it switches from one of where, things are happening to you and, people are attacking me, to where you see, okay, people are just fearing, and they're really looking out for themselves out of fear, or they're looking out for me because they fear for me. And so this transition happens in your thinking and your mentality and all the energy behind it. So this all starts to spark the week before the full moon. The full moon happens, and then this is the week after. So the week after, we have the 4 of Cups. So this is a change in emotion. The 4 is like you're getting this solidity, because 4 of something, like 4 legs on a table, is a very strong foundation. You have the 3 cups down below here, which are empty, but then you're being offered this Ace of Cups up here, again, with the moon up here. So you have this awareness that the 3 cups that were supposed to be fulfilling you, supposed to be filling you up, which are external relationships of any kind, romantic, family, friends, work, whatever. Situations would be the 2nd cup, so like jobs, education, those types of things. And then the 3rd cup is like the physical things in our world, like our bodies, our possessions, like our bank account, right? And so all of that does not fulfill you, but you're brought this Ace of Cups, which is the Holy Grail or the Golden Chalice, and it's filled with the essence of our Creator, the living waters, which is the unconditional love of the Creator. And so this amazing love that you feel is overpowering this, dissatisfying and sour tasting and bitter waters when you have the sweet, overflowing, beautiful waters. So this really is about this connecting, as you connect to the spiritual world here, with that emotional piece and looking to your gut and your intuition and the other realm for answers, you get this taste of this unconditional love of the other side, which helps you in making decisions. Yeah, okay. And here is the moon. So we're talking about the moon, and the full moon. So this definitely is about taking advantage of this clarity that's going to be coming, this transformative energy that's going to be coming in for you, and really, see this beautiful combination. So the moon, it really is about diving into the unknown, the subconscious. And so this whole mystery that's going on, it's like you have this little 3-week mystery cruise that you're on this journey, and you're trying to find out who done it. And but it's this, you're getting to the root of things that are really bringing you a lot of ahas, and a lot of mysteries are being solved. Yeah, because 10 of Cups, this is, you're stepping through a new doorway of emotion. So this is definitely, Cups, and moon is the mother, emotions, nurturing, getting into those mysteries. So you really are connecting to this beautiful, beautiful new emotional experience because of what's being revealed. And then you move into the 2nd week after the full moon. Yeah, and you continue to dig deep into the understanding of things. You can see here, you've got this Ace of Swords here, and it's this balance that you're undertaking. So this has a lot to do, like with this Queen of Swords, this balancing energy. You can see over here, you've got that Libra symbol, like the Libra symbol on here. So you continue to balance the small T truths with the capital T truths, which brings you, clarity. And usually, you'll see, the justice, they are blindfolded, they have their eyes closed, and it's kind of like that 2 of Swords too, very much so, where they're closing their eyes. to what they think they're seeing in the outside world to connect inwardly to see the real truth, those capital T truths, what we were talking about. So you continue to do that. Yep, and the 8 of coins. I was wondering if that was going to come up. Here's the 8, and this is the 8th house. So this is about your outside world. You've been, working as like an apprentice for a long time in things, but you are becoming the master. You've been putting in a lot of work. You've been putting out a lot of productivity in whatever area of life this is, coming to you for. But you are moving up into this next level. You're moving beyond. This talked about all those areas of your life that are being fine-tuned, all these physical world things, all that, those imbalances that, like it says, the people who are using manipulation, keeping you doing the work and them taking the credit for it. All this kind of stuff where you've been working and improving your skills. And you've been working under a master, or you've been working on mastering something, and you're ready for this graduation. You're ready to step out from those circumstances that you were having before in regard to all those things we talked about in the 8th house. Yeah, and then here you have the 2 of Wands. So you understand you have a choice now, that you can go 2 different directions, and you're like, okay, I'm going to start to make plans to do so. This is like the Ace of Wands would have been you're getting this spark and this inspiration to do something, and the 2 of Wands is about making plans to make it happen. Planning all your next steps on how you're going to, at least these many steps. You don't have to have like all 1,000 steps planned out, but you have a lot of steps that you are planning out, specifically, putting actions around how you're going to get somewhere. And this is about taking the very next step on that. So doing the planning and then putting that fire behind it and taking just one step toward that dream, towards that new mastery, toward that new adventure that it's going to be unfolding for you. Yeah. And then you have the 7 of Swords. And again, the moon. So a lot of moon energy definitely bringing in these awarenesses. And this will tell you, usually this is about beware of the deceptor, of the thief. But for me, because this is the Swords, this is about what thoughts you have, what beliefs you have, that you're deceiving yourself. And you're already leaving some behind. You have 5 that you're holding on to and 2 that you've left behind. And so you are making this progression away from those small T truths that no longer serve you. And then for the whole 3-week period, pretty much got the 6 of Cups. So this, Cups again are your emotions, and all these cups are your past emotional experiences. So some of the stuff that's going to be coming up here, and I really feel these are your thoughts and your beliefs around a situation, you're able to revisit it when these mysteries unfold. When you're able to see things from a higher capital T truth, you see old memories and old things that happened in a different light, and then they turn into these beautiful things. Instead of looking at them as situations that happened to you, you really start to see these as situations that happened for you. And that brings, and here you go. So this talked about in here, death and rebirth. So definitely these ending of some cycles, endings of, this could be, any of those cups that we talked about, those 3 cups. You could have an ending in a relationship of some sort, to have a rebirth in it, or if it was toxic and it's best that it's not in your life to get you where you're going to head to, then it's that ending of that. It could be an ending of a job or an ending of education. In order for you, it could be an ending of a position at a job, and you're moving into a different position that you want, or it can be like you're leaving a company, either of your own fruition or of them letting you go, but it's for your good because you're moving into something more in alignment with where you want to go. And it could be some financial changes, some giving up of a possession, whether it's leaving a home for another, leaving, giving up a vehicle for another, like maybe you're trading in a vehicle. So it could be any of those areas where there's these restarts, where you're seeing those things that no longer serve you, because this mystery, this kind of this doubt, this fog is lifting, because you're seeing things so much more clearly by the end of this period, which actually brings you into a new moon, which we'll have another reading for that as we get closer to it. But this is definitely this ending, and it's going to be a lot of emotional change, but it's spawned by this capital T truce that you see in your world as you let go of other small t truce. So it's beautiful, it's not, you start off with this card, you're like, oh my God, no, but you're like, yes, see, it's worth going through it, because in the end, you get to head off in the direction that you want to head off on, that is bringing you this emotional fulfillment. So definitely good news. Right, well, we're going to leave the reading there. Just want to let you know that in addition to these readings, I also do monthly readings for each zodiac sign, weekly energy updates for each of the elements, like fire signs, water signs, etc., new moon, full moon readings, and some other readings as well. So if you don't want to miss out on any of those and get notified immediately when they become available, if you haven't done so already, just click the subscribe button down below. That's going to make this notification bell pop up, and that'll take you into your settings, so you can just set it to be notified immediately when they are available. Also, if you're enjoying these videos, I'd really appreciate a nice thumbs up. Give this little video a like, because that helps the YouTube algorithm present these videos for other people. So that'll help share the love and share the messages. So if you want to help with that, I greatly appreciate it. So if you feel so inclined, just give it a little like. All right. Well, just also know that as you go throughout each day, every second of every day, you are unconditionally loved by the Creator of all things. And of course, I love you too. So have an amazing 3-week period around this full moon in Gemini, and I'm sure I'll be talking to you very soon. But until then, you take care.